for better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails. Hold on tight, I can smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we just hold on tight. This vision that I saw is getting closer every dawn. We are dreamers of the shore.
So, the last time we went to move the boat, we found out that it wouldn't start. Now, this is the third starter I've put on this boat. It has a tendency, for some reason, to flood the inside of the starter, which is mounted on the very top of the bell housing, with seawater. I've had the boat for 2 years. It's happened 3 times. You pull the starter out, and it's just completely flooded with seawater. My starter rebuild guy says he thinks it was submerged, but it's never been submerged. So somehow it's picking up water out of the bilge, hitting the flywheel, and then slinging it up into the starter under certain circumstances. So we've got a leak in the boat. We've got a crack in the tailpipe, the fiberglass tailpipe that goes around the prop shaft and then connects to the stuffing box. So we've got to pull the boat out of the water to repair that, because it's got to be dry in order to effect a good repair. So 2 days ago we went to start the boat to take it to Rockport, and it wouldn't start. So we pulled the starter, just sure that was the problem, and as it turns out, it wasn't the problem. That we carried it in and they said the starter's fine. So we're going to reinstall the starter, and we're going to hook up a remote starter to circumvent the push button in the gauges set, to see if that's the problem. Now, I had trouble getting this starter off, so I'm cleaning it up, and I'm going to actually put axle grease around it to try to prevent it from corroding to the transmission bell housing. Okay.
So in addition to that, baby, we've got another issue as well, which is the alternator.
Yeah, so, well, that was a previous issue. That turned out to be a bad deal. I never had an alternator go bad on a diesel engine boat before, but it went bad in 2 stages. There's a diode in an alternator that stops the current from being drained out when it's not being used. And that diode went out and it shorted, and that caused both sets of batteries to completely drain down to nothing. So we pulled all the batteries off the boat. 2 of them we had to replace. The other 2 seemed to take a charge. They will take a charge. I don't know if they will carry any load, but it was the house batteries, and all they're operating is the bilge pump and the lights right now, so we're making do with those batteries. And then the second thing that failed on the alternator was the voltage regulator. When we were bringing it to Corpus to do the film production, that voltage regulator went out, and we were in a situation where we were in the intercoastal waterway. We had very low winds, not enough to sail by, and all of a sudden the voltage started going up from 13, 14 to 15 to 16. And when it hit 17, I knew we had a problem, but simultaneously as it hit 17, we had some sort of current arcing down below and smoke. Vanessa was down below. I was at the helm when it happened.
Yeah.
So I kind of immediately killed the engine, and I went down below and realized you can't run this thing without the alternator in it, because one of the belts that goes to the freshwater recirculation pump is driven off that same alternator. So I couldn't get to it. Everything is hidden behind it. So I just cut those wires to isolate, you know, the alternator.
Yeah,
voltage.
and we were in an emergency situation. We're sitting completely dead in the water with zero wind. I mean, zero wind. Completely becalmed in the middle of the ICW with large ships around us, and shore just right off our port side, right, babe?
Yep.
And we were drifting ashore, so we had to act fast. So what did we have to do, baby?
Well, we killed the engine because
it was smoking.
It was smoking
in the cockpit. All the instruments burned.
Yep, we lost all the instruments. We lost the oil pressure, the water engine temperature. We lost the RPM. We lost the wind speed direction indicator. We lost the depth indicator, water temperature indicator. We lost, somehow it should have been isolated, but we lost the digital readout for the solar panels. We lost the battery state indicator down below. Basically every instrument on the boat except for the GPS.
Yeah, that was scary.
Yeah.
And so we anchored. So Dave went quickly to the bow because we had no engine. We couldn't restart the engine.
And we did have current.
And we had a strong current, but no wind. We were in the middle of the ICW with traffic. And so Dave immediately went to the bow to throw out an anchor, right?
Yep.
And we kind of drifted a little bit outside of the channel, and it gets very shallow very fast. So we were really concerned we were going to seriously run aground. But luckily we didn't at that time. And then we were able, and that's when you cut the wires to isolate the alternator, right, babe? And,
yep.
And then we were able to restart the engine motor all the way back to the Corpus Christi Marina, where we needed to bed down for the night anyway, because we had our customers coming aboard in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was crazy. So now we're just trying to figure out, we've got a sick boat with multiple issues, and just all happened at once. I mean, we've had 3 amazing years of solid years of running great charters without any problems, would you say, babe? Like never anything major. I mean, the starter went out once, right? But we had a spare.
No, it's gone out 3 times.
Oh, 3 times. But we always had a spare. And then we were able to get it rebuilt, get the other one rebuilt, right?
Yep. But the last time they told me it wasn't rebuildable. So I need to take it and get a second opinion of that, because I don't trust anybody anymore. The new starter was not a new starter. It was a remanufactured starter. This one that we bought off the internet was $585. And then they charged me $380 to rebuild the old one, and now they're telling me the old one's not rebuildable. So
yeah. And this one is good. We had it retested yesterday, and they put it on the bench, and they said it's not the starter. Is the reason, because we came out here 2 days ago trying to when you need to haul the boat out of the water to head from Corpus to Rockport, so we could get it to the boatyard to haul it out. And we got to the boat, and he pushed the starter switch, and nothing, right?
Yep.
Completely dead. And our batteries were good, brand new batteries, and we checked all of our connections. Everything seemed to be perfect, right?
Yep.
And so we're back at the boat now after having the starter checked. The starter is absolutely good after being bench tested. So now we're going to reinstall the starter and try to figure out, okay, well, why isn't, when we actuate the starter switch, why don't we have anything? Right? So that's what we're doing today, to see if we can hobble along tomorrow to do our sail from Corpus to Rockport. About a 6-hour sail to get our hauled out of the water and put on the hard so we can make the rest of the repairs. Sadly, this girl has been so good to us, but now she really needs some deep loving. So that's where we are right now.
All right. Okay, let me have a flashlight and my wire brush.
Okay, stand by. Wire brush. flashlight.
Thank you.
So we've got a Westerbeke, right? Is that our 30 horsepower Westerbeke, babe?
We need to write this down. It is a Westerbeke 30. It's a Westerbeke 30.
Okay, and we're on a 36-foot Several.
Yep.
So if anybody else has a Westerbeke 30 and you've got questions and maintenance, and you know, right now we're installing the starter that we had checked out, and we're getting ready to remove the alternator to take it in. Let us know. Excuse me if you have any questions.
Okay.
What do you need?
Now I need the starter.
Okay, roger that.
And a bolt.
Starter and a bolt. Not hard to get in there, eh?
Yep. So when I was pulling the starter off, the corrosion between the starter and the bell housing had caused it to be difficult to get off, so I had to take a hammer and tap on it. And I was literally just putting it back together thinking, wouldn't it be funny if the tapping on it jolted the solenoid back to life?
Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Because when we took it in, they're like, nothing wrong with it. But that girl wouldn't talk to us at all. That solenoid was not actuating. We know it wasn't. All right, we'll see.
Okay. This is what we've just replaced. It's the starter. That's the horrible bolt to get to over there, because as you can see, there is no room whatsoever to put a person in there. Now, this is a stuffing box. That's the stuffing box right there. And then that piece of reinforced exhaust hose goes to a fiberglass tailpipe right there, and the prop shaft runs through the whole thing, and that's where it's leaking, right at that corner. We may have damaged that ourselves when we put that T-bar clamp on there, but may not have.
So here's our, what would you call this? Our main battery bank?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the main battery bank. The house batteries are on the other side.
House batteries are in the underneath the settee. So, hey babe, going down. Okay, so we're trying to figure out why we had a good starter and why the boat wouldn't start.
Negative to negative. Positive to positive. That's good.
And it might just be exactly what you said, you know, when he kind of knocked it loose, that solenoid. These are brand new batteries, aren't they, babe? You just got these.
Yep, they're brand new.
So we know all the terminals are clean. The electrical lines are also clean. There's no corrosion. So we've got a good surface for conduction.
Okay, hot. Oh, that's good. Okay, let's give her another try.
All right. I don't know. Let's try to give this girl a start.
Will you put me on battery bank 2?
Absolutely. Battery bank 2 coming up. Stand by. Boat's a little tore up right now because I've been working. Okay, battery bank 2. Same thing.
Yep.
It's a switch, babe. So now we're going to try to bypass the switch by using a remote starter. See if that works. I mean, you know, a single pole, single throw, momentary switch. I mean, how many times does that freaking go out? But I don't know. Maybe. So we'll give it a shot, eh?
Okay. One of the things that's strange about that's when you turn the key on and you hit that momentary switch, it alters either voltage or current, something going through there, because it changes the tone in the buzzer. So that's kind of weird. You'd think if it would fail, it wouldn't have any effect on that buzzer at all.
So it's pulling power, in other words, what you're
Power's
saying.
going somewhere, so.
Okay. Okay, so how are we going to do this on a remote start this?
That's the starter momentary switch right there. Nothing looks wrong there. Okay. We can use a remote starter switch by connecting one side to the positive here.
On the starter itself?
Yep.
On the solenoid?
Yep, on the solenoid.
Okay.
Starter solenoid.
So we're going to hook the positive lead up to the positive terminal of the solenoid, and then the ground to the ground, right?
No.
No. Okay, what do we do?
There's okay. Do me a favor and turn the key on.
Okay, stand by. Key on. Off. So it's doing the same thing. What the heck?
Do me a favor, switch my battery bank to 1.
Roger that. Okay. A little tough. Okay, battery bank switch to 1. There it goes.
Yep. That's the problem.
It's the switch?
No.
What's the problem?
Problem is battery bank 2 I had backwards.
Okay.
Battery bank 2 has not got 12 volts to it. It's only got 11.9. That's, or it won't carry a load.
Okay.
So,
So basically wired it backwards is what you're saying?
no, we didn't wire it backwards.
What did we do?
We put the 2 new batteries on the wrong bank.
2 new batteries in the wrong bank. Explain that.
We should have put the two new batteries.
On the other side. On the house.
No, we got them reversed. Battery bank 1 is the main batteries, and battery bank 2 is the house batteries. Stripping the Bendix, we got enough for the buzzer, but we didn't have enough voltage for the starter itself.